I think the media is really powerful, and the way the media shows women and the stories that the media tells about women, I think it's like there's so much power in that. Do you guys feel like the Kenyan media is doing women a disservice? I personally think that the Kenyan media is sexist, extremely sexist, and just looking at the stories, because I'm like, literally, there's like there's stories that are just focused on. We've seen the stories for cheating. The cheating stories are really, and even the way they are written, they're very unflattering to the women. And then, of course, just in general, the news is very male-centric. So it's, for me, I actually, as a woman who's in media, I really do have a huge, I want to fight mainstream media, because I feel like there's such a huge issue there. And so that's why it was not surprising to me with the radio conversation, when you're having, these people who have, all the conversations on morning radio are literally just, as in, incredibly sexist.
Why do you think that is? Is it because the people in high positions in the media industry are male, or?
I think that's one. I think that is one. And then two, I think, because now then it means that they get to direct what conversations are being had. And then also I think because I don't want to say it, but I feel like I have to say it. I feel like we live in a society that might not realize it, but maybe they do. But I think the society hates women. And so
they do.
It's easier to, literally, that's why even when you look at social media, the people who become famous very quickly, what content are they doing? It's content that is spewing hatred towards women, whether it's talking about women as, these women are gold diggers, wanakula fair, whatever it is. And then they get really big on social media. And then next thing you know, they're sitting on panels and having columns to continue spewing the same hatred. And so for me, I'm like, that says something about the society. And then it says something about, I feel like that's something we can't ignore, because the media is too big and too important and too powerful, because then it's shaping minds. And I saw someone saying something really important, where they were saying that we can look at the media and see how the media plays a part in things like post-election violence. But then we look at the media and deny that they're playing a part in the rise of violence against women. So how can that be?
If you look at the stories in the media about them celebrating a woman, it will be a woman who has really struggled and gone through it all. It's like someone who's just been dragged in the mud for years and years and years, and just came out a bit clean. They're like, strong woman. So they really glorify the fact that for a woman to be a strong woman, to be acknowledged, you have to really have gone through it. So they sell the narrative of a powerful woman, a strong woman, has gone through all this, and here she is, right? And then if you're independent, you have your own things, you're just like, she just climbed up the ladder. It's just like, by the way, you did not struggle, so you're not like as powerful as this woman who has gone through years of suffering. And this is the media just talking about a strong woman. Every story you read about a woman in the media, it will have sad stories, domestic violence. She survived like bullets and panga, and she was beaten and thrown out of her house for like in the middle of the night when it was raining. And then finally now she is able to raise her 2 children alone. And she's a strong woman, according to the media. Like, if you look at the stories they're glorifying them about women, you're like, I don't want to be this kind of strong woman. Actually, let me stay weak the way I am, because and when they come to write a story about this businesswoman, it will be something about something she's done, a deal she has done with some guys here. It will never be about that particular woman. So I feel the media plays a huge part in bringing women, like, as you said, the society hates women. I feel the media really encourages them with the stories they write about women.
I wanted to add, of course, in the story, when you're a powerful woman who's made it, you have to be asked about your husband and how you balance taking care, work-life balance. And that's why even like you literally have a whole president, like the president of current president of Tanzania,
And they
they'll ask,
will
"Are you
ask her,
still
"You still
humble?"
serve your husband?" Like, I am an effing president, you know?
Yeah.
You never
whether
ask.
they're still.
I mean, that's me. I'd be like, it's none of your business.
Thank
what,
you.
what I do with my husband.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So I feel,
because they
I
have
feel
to.
they will ask. They will ask like, "Oh, you look so smart today. Who dressed you?" But then a man will be asked, "Oh, so there's that policy you're pushing?" Like, we're doing the same job. So I feel the media plays a big part, but they will always like deny. Like, yeah, we ask balanced questions, but what is work-life balance?
Yeah.
And they always focus on a woman who probably is single, no husband or no children, but they will focus on that fact. Like, I remember there's a senator an imperial senator in Kericho who passed on, and someone I think from on social media said she died alone, like she didn't have a husband or children. Like, but did she live life? Didn't she serve her community? You know, she passed on, unfortunately. But then there are things she did that other women like have not done the things that she did. But they will focus on the fact that she died without children and a husband. But they'll never focus on the things she did for her community, for her constituents. So I also feel, yeah, they will just hate women.
Yeah. So is there, like, what kinds of stories then do you guys want to see in the media? Because I definitely want to hear that feedback, because I am a woman in the media, and I mean, I want to make a change in media, but I'm trying to figure out, okay, where do we begin? What kind of stories should we be telling? Because then, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of the work is with us.
To tell our own stories.
Yeah, to tell our own stories. Because if you keep waiting for someone else who clearly is telling you that they are not
unfortunately,
interested.
when then the stories that we would want to be candid about, let's say I started a business and I was given someone boosted me, a guy boosted me in this business. I would not be able to say how I got to this level, because I know the backlash of, oh, someone pushed you, or someone, you know. A woman won't go to the bank and get a loan. For a very long time, we're not able to get to the bank and get a loan, right? But if I had a male friend who's in a position and can give me the money to start a business, I will gladly take the money and start the business. But now when we have that conversation with you, it will always be, oh, gold digger, oh, she got money from. So as much as we'd want to talk about our experiences as candid as we would want to be, there's some stories we would not say with our chests, because we know the backlash that will come afterwards. So you find a lot of people will whitewash their stories and say, oh, I borrowed money from my mom, or I got from the bank, and I got a bill of 2, 3, 4 things, and then I sold them, and then I got this other big order. So we lie to each other to make each other feel like it is possible, it is so easy, while it's not. Because sit down with a woman when there are no cameras, and she will tell you the things she has gone through to get where she's going, but she'll not say it candidly. Yeah.
I agree. It's true.
Yeah, I don't think they should be shameful about where we came from, really. We should be truthful about where we come from, because there are women, again, because you've asked which specific people would you want to put out here. We want to know that woman who has gotten herself to a certain point and how she's gotten there. She might not have gone through all the troubles and children and birth and all those things to get where they are, so that we know that you need to struggle before you get there. We need to know you went to school. We need to know you went to university or wherever you went, college. You went and did textiles or whatever, and now you're the best fashion designer. I want to see that one who has made it there. I want to know how they've gotten there. I want to know how this mother of even 5 is still able to run a whole company, because you learn from them. You want to be like, now even you see someone like that, you'll be like, oh yeah, I can also pop like 5 of them and I'll be fine.
What they won't tell you, Karen, which we need to also make women as comfortable as possible tell their stories.
Yes.
They will never mention the exploitation. like especially sexual harassment, working longer hours for you to get there, because also they want to protect their name, their brand, and protect the predators and the guys who really exploited them. The stories we have to admit ourselves will still be undercover. No one will say, but we as women will know. For me to get here, I went through this working late hours with male managers. I was sexually harassed here and there, but I'm here now. I'm the CEO of this company and I'm their boss. Those are stories a woman will not tell you, but when you sit down with her, she might open up, right? But not for the media. So I feel we need to have more women, like you said, more women in media telling their stories. And soon we will have women bold enough to share their stories without feeling like they'll be attacked because of sharing their story. So for now, a lot of women will say just bits and pieces of their stories just to protect themselves, because they still have a job to go back to on Monday. They still have a family to who's looking up to them. So we have to it will take us a long time, but we have to keep telling these stories. The way you started the Zeda experience, you keep talking about the stories, and one or two other people will just come up with their stories. Someone will be bold enough to come up with their stories. And before you know it, more women will be able to say their real life stories. But for now, I feel the stories we have in the media of how a woman has managed to have the work-life balance. Like, oh, I leave my job at 5, I go home and cook for my children. She's not telling you she has 3 maids in the house.
You
know?
That's true.
Yes.
Because you look like you are so privileged, because also when you're privileged, you also don't want to look down on other women who are struggling to balance with 5 children.
It's back to what you were saying about the whole narrative of strong women.
Yeah.
So why I'm like, of course we are strong, but I don't want that to be the narrative, because then it means people don't give you much room to be imperfect. And you need to look like you're doing everything. So you need to look like, of course it's impossible. Work-life balance is actually a lie. For me, I'm like, it's impossible. You need help, you need support. But the way we are socialized is that the perfect woman needs to be like a superhero. So you need to be able to go to work, do everything, take care of your kids, husband, and still look flawless while doing it, which of course is not possible. So then now you can't tell people, hey guys, I'm actually cracking because I got home and I was yelling at my children because I'm so tired, or I didn't even cook. In fact, we've not cooked the entire week. For 2 weeks, we've just been eating pizza. You can't be honest, because then people expect perfection, especially when you're a visible woman. You kind of like feel like you're the one who people are looking at and looking up to. So you can't say, hey, by the way, this thing is hard. So I think maybe one of the things I definitely want to see is that, like, women, it's been okay for women to be honest. But then I guess it's hard. What you're saying, it's hard because then there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of expectations. And so people can't be honest, because I know for sure we live in a very unequal world. So a lot of women, and it's not a bad thing at all, have had support from partners, from their male partners to start businesses and to etc. Which I think is great, because what's the point of having a partner if they're not supporting you? I mean, that's a complete waste of time. But I think then, you're under this pressure to say, I did it by myself. I never had anybody.
Because you put at a point, you're put on a stage and the women are looking like, oh, you're the role model for children and girls and women. Who told you I want to be a role model? I want to live my life as imperfect as it is, So you force women to share stories of strength and resilience. And to be honest, I saw a tweet the other day and someone said, working a 10-hour shift and going home to meet children, you'd actually just pass them and go straight to your room. Because you're mentally exhausted, But of course, a woman will just say, I go home, I take care of my children, I play with them, I do homework with them, I sing for them lullaby before they sleep, and then I take care of my husband, and then I serve food, I shower, I sleep, and I wake up at 6 o'clock, I do yoga, and I go to work. It is impossible. It is impossible.
I don't know who set this standard that for you to be considered strong, first you have to have like 5 babies. You have a lot of things you're doing. Even stay-at-home moms are strong women.
Yeah, especially.
Actually, being just who bleeds and they're still working and they're still cooking and while bleeding, like we don't need this standard that now when you reach here is when you can be considered strong.
Yeah.
Every woman doing the right thing, doing the most for their lives. Every woman who's single and they don't have kids, but they're getting that money, they're strong women. That chick who doesn't want to get married and she's comfortable, that's a strong woman. That mama selling bogas and she's making money to buy her kids' milk, that's also a strong woman. So there's no this standard that you have to have all these problems. You don't have to associate problems with strength.
Okay, any last words before we wrap up?
Oh, it's over already.
I know we could stop till like next year.
My last words would be, women, we are extraordinary creatures. You don't need validation from anyone. You don't need permission from anyone. Just do your thing. Be a good human being. Just do you. There's like we have everything at our disposal. Every day I keep writing about these funds that were set up for women that women don't even know about. So me personally, I've taken my job as a platform to like showcase all these things, because trust me, a lot of women are not on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. So what are you actually doing to reach those women who don't even know what's trending? Personally, what I do with what Dr. said about young girls and getting pregnant and all these things, I joined hands with a few of my friends. So what we do, we go to schools and churches and we tell them, don't tell them not to have sex. You're talking to the wrong people. Tell them, and don't tell them, at you get pregnant, it will be fine. It will not be fine. I had a kid when I was 9. It has not been fine. It has not been fine. You have to grow up, and you're taking care of another kid. So now you can't do other things that your age mates are doing. Tell them the real thing. Don't give them fantasies of CGT what. So we are raising women who are going to be mothers, and they're going to raise a whole other generation. So how we raise them is really, really important. So everyone should just play their part and know they're amazing creatures, basically.
For me, with the theme for Women's Month, even though we don't really like Women's Month anymore, I choose to challenge, and I tell a lot of women, I'm an old woman, so I tell a lot of women, my age mates, to hold 1 or 2 adolescent girls under their wing. I concentrate on adolescent girls because you're actually molding them with information, with resources, with tools, with skills. When they're at that age, between the ages of 8 to like 16, that is when they are developing. That is when they will know wrong or right. That is when you can actually impart a lot of knowledge, So I always tell women, get even a neighbor. You're looking at, we live in a neighborhood where we actually don't talk to each other, but there might be 1 or 2 adolescent girls in your area. Hold them under your wings, talk to them, because you will actually have done a lot of like change. There are still girls who cannot be able to talk to their mothers, but they'll be able to talk to a stranger, an auntie, a sister. You're actually like a big sister to them. So the information you give them, and it is as candid as possible. Like, don't tell them when you have sex is just, you tell them when you have sex, you will have children. You will have, they're having sex anyway. So I always tell women, hold these young women, hold their hands, because a lot of mistakes will be avoided when they have the right information, they have the right resources and tools in their hands. So I choose to challenge the Women's Month theme is me challenging other women. Hold 1 or 2 adolescent girls under your wings and just guide them through. It will really make a big impact. Yeah.
Wow. I have so much to tell all the women, including myself. And I will stick to being true to ourselves, being true to knowing that you're beautiful, being true to knowing that you're strong, you personally. Be true to yourself and say, I can do this. I can change my life. If you feel like you made a mistake, stop, move on. That's what you can do. Don't dwell on the past, because yes, there's been mistakes that have happened in the past. Maybe someone got pregnant very early, or maybe they got an infection that doesn't go away very early, or they just made a decision in their life that took a serious turn. Maybe it was drugs, alcohol, anything that has taken over their lives. They just need to know time is now. Time is now to be that woman you want to be. Be true to yourself. Look in the mirror. See, do you like yourself like that? First, like yourself, then change the things that you don't like. Okay? So those are the kind of things I want to encourage women, because I feel as a woman, I've grown since I turned 30. Like, okay, just turned 30. Jana too, you know? As in, I realized that even being scared about turning 30 is, why are you scared? You know, this is the best time of your life. You're stronger. You've learned those 2 mistakes you needed to learn. And then now you don't make those mistakes. You don't let people waste your time. You don't dwell on things that don't add any value to your life. You know, add value to your life yourself from now on. And that's the kind of thing that we need to know as women, and pass it on to the rest. And that's the purpose of why I feel like that's my purpose, you know, teach the people who I've seen what they've gone through. I've gone through it as well. I can at least tell you, know, Hapa, it's not good, you know. And the things I'm like happy about. I'm happy that I finished school, you know. Those are the things I'll be like, at least, you know. But if that happened and something happened and you couldn't continue, stop and move on. That's my parting shot.
Okay. Well, for me, I think just looking at how the past year has been, and of course this, you know, Women's Month, I've just realized that I have a lot more power than I thought, and so I'm trying to do less talking and more work. Because I realized I talk a lot, like online especially, and it feels good to talk and talk online. But I felt like, okay, now I want to take the talking and start doing the work. And so creating platforms and pushing for more mentorship and things like that, and just being a woman who is doing actual work, because I felt like, hey, we will talk. We will talk forever and we're not going to see anything happening. So I chose to challenge myself and decided that it's time to actually start doing work that is visible, where people can say, yep, there is the work being done. There is the platforms being built. There is the, you know, progress being made. Because I was like, I actually have a lot more access, a lot more power than I thought I had, and I need to put that to use instead of waiting, because I don't know who. There's no one coming. It's us. So if we keep waiting for some person to come who's going to change things and save us and make the world better or whatever, it's not happening. It's us, and so it's me. And so I said, let me do my part and just start and keep going. So thank you so much, guys. This was so amazing. I'm really looking forward to having a lot more conversations with tons of different women, because I think, you know, us talking is, and sharing and having conversations about things that are important to us, even though we may not agree on 100%, which I think is fine. We don't have to agree 100% with one another. But just having women in the room discussing things that are important to us and trying to figure out how to move forward, I think is such a powerful thing. So thank you so much for making the time. I know you're all like super busy people. This has been Zeda Talks, an initiative by Zeda, which brings together women from different walks of life to have discussions on topics that are important to them. Thank you so much to my lovely guests that made it today. And thank you so much to our sponsor, Safaricom. Thank you for believing in women and believing that women can go beyond. And a big thank you to SemaBox for producing this podcast and for giving us this lovely space. This is me, Mwende Ngao, signing off.